Beautiful blessings, everyone. Today is the 11th, and so there's been some beautiful energy around today with the angels and a lot of synchronicities. I know I've seen a lot of repeating numbers and just a lot of things that have kind of been very wow and beautiful. And also I was outside today and there was a lot of the birds of prey. I seen the osprey. There was a beautiful hawk overhead. And I also seen something in the air that I had never seen before, which was an egret. And that it was pretty interesting because I'd never seen them fly that high before. It was quite up high. And right away, the teaching, that moment, it reminded me of the grace that an animal that on the ground, although it's beautiful and graceful here, seems like it would be a little awkward in the air, but it was not. It was absolutely graceful the way it moved through the air. And right then and there, I got the message and the lesson that even though we may be going through some things and having to lift ourselves up and soar through some of the winds that come in life, that we can still hold that grace and we can still move with ease. We just have to recognize what we're up against. And the egret wasn't seeing the thermals, but it was using its intuition. It could feel it. It knew which way to go with the wind that it was going to be carried. And it did it with grace. It didn't have to go in diving and spinning around like some of the birds of prey. It was just gracefully moving with the wind. And so I was grateful for that teaching today. I wanted to share that. And so I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be a channel of light, helping me to bring a message for the highest good. And I would ask the angels, please, to step forward. And please allow me to bring a message from you for inspiration and the highest good. Thank you. I'm just going to shuffle. They're saying just one card today. The energy is just, it's been really beautiful. As I said, there's been a lot of synchronicities. There always is, but today I think it's been more prevalent. It feels like the attention is very strong on that. So I've shuffled. I'm just going to take it up. I always take the ones that move out. So there's two. And the first one is Synchronicity. Thank you, angels. I trust your well-timed guidance and signs. And I can't say much more than that. That's self-explanatory. They always come through to verify any messages that they give. And this is something that I've encouraged people, and they're smiling and ringing and giving me the resonance to please remind everyone that when we're listening to things like this, oracle readings or reading things online, listening to videos, reading books, any teachings, to always ask first within your higher self, is this true? Does this resonate? And sometimes things won't resonate right away because it's a truth that we don't want to understand or we're not able to process in that time. So we need to sit with it. But if this is a guided message that's coming through from the other side, no matter whether it's a light being, a loved one, from Source directly, from our higher self, an angel, a star seed, any of these things, they will always verify and bring a synchronicity for us because that's their joy to do that. They want us to trust. They want us to remember. And so I know that there's some that say we shouldn't constantly ask for signs and be secure in what we know. And we do have to do that for our intuition, but understand that if it is from Source or anyone in the higher dimensions, in the unseen worlds, they will always bring through something to verify that it is indeed them because they understand. They understand this is Earth School, and it's not always easy to trust, and they want us to. And the second one is spiritual support. Dear angels, I allow you to support me as I grow to become more spiritually aware. And so this goes hand in hand with the synchronicities and intuition. And there's the number 3. That is the divine trinity. That's source, spirit, and soul. And so they're kind of making me aware that there's the light. There's the inner light that we all have, the source light, our expression of source. And so what they're saying today with this is that always know that when we're having these synchronicities, or we're having the miracles, or we're having things and we're not sure, could this just, we naturally want to question, could this just be a coincidence? Is this in our head? We get the monkey mind. They're saying, connect to source, the source light within us, our higher self, the Trinity, source, spirit, soul. All of these aligned, all of these in our center. That white light that comes direct, that resonates through us and everything in creation, will always bring through a direct message if we sit and listen. And I understand that they're bringing through that always to connect with source, God, creator, whatever names we feel comfortable calling, the omnipresence. And through this source, then allow the message to come through us in whatever way that source feels is right for us in that moment. Allow source and our higher self to decide that. Whether it be an angelic being, whether it be one of our guides, our loved ones, whether it be an ancestor from another galaxy, or God themselves, Divine Mother. All in the unseen world is available to us to help us to have the synchronicities and have the support. But to go directly to the source first, that allows, the possibilities will be endless of the ways that we can hear our answers and get our verification and get our clear guidance, because this is all within us. And then it's important to trust what we're hearing, to trust because we know that source is within us. If we go direct and we ask Creator for this clarity and remembering, we know that this is within us. So there's nothing separated. There's nothing separated between us and the answer. It's not a third party. Sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes source will send your next door neighbor knocking on your door at just the right time. And that's the messenger. And we have to be comfortable and trusting to know that when the messages and the synchronicities are coming through, that's the support. That's the verification. And it's not an ego thing to have all of the unseen world lift us and support us. It's what they're there for. We had a team before we came here. And we made promises to each other that we would listen and be guided, because we knew we were going to have a lot to learn here. And it's kind of like a road rally where you get in the car and there's a person reading the map and the other person's driving, and both of them have to trust each other, because if they don't, that could be a horrible situation. And so they're kind of giving me this image of that. And this is exactly what we're experiencing with this here, is that when we're centered and we're asking source directly, the synchronicities and the signs and the beautiful messages are going to come. And it's their joy. It's their promise to us that they're keeping, to be that spark that reminds us of our intuition and our light on the journey. And so one of the most beautiful things that we can do is to sit in that space, center in our source light, and ask. Because there are some things that they won't interfere with. That's true. If we have a certain lesson or some karma, they may not be able to absolve that for us. Even the ascended masters at some point will allow us to experience what we need to for our highest good. But if we ask knowing, without a doubt, that we need some guidance, or they're guiding us because they know that something is for our highest good, if the more we attune to it, we pay attention, the more we see and we trust, the more it's going to happen. And everything that we do will be infused with that light. And nothing is too small or too large. I know some people say, oh, it's silly. I wouldn't even ask Source. I'm at the grocery store, which organic tomatoes I should buy today. That's there's greater things going on in the world. Ask. You'll be surprised at what you're guided through. It's our connection. We're not separated. They're saying it's our right. And so I hope in some way that this message may inspire to just sit and trust. Trust what you're seeing. Trust your experiences. It's the promise that we made before we came here with all our soul family, all our guides, all our ancestors, that they were going to come forth with us and guide us from the higher realms to remember. All my love, many blessings, everyone.